Hello and welcome to Sports Tonight. I'm Cecilia Mogbe, right here in Lagos.
Sport greetings to you wherever you are in the world watching us in London. I'm Austin Okonakpan.
Right, it's a Tuesday, and of course, the loaded package tonight. We will be starting up with the Super Falcons of Nigeria. They are in the menu today because the Nigeria Football Federation, they've launched Mission X campaign. It's 18 days to the commencement of the championship, and just today, the Nigeria Football Federation launched Mission X via press release. Okay, we'll talk more about that on the show tonight. Also on the program, the National Institute for Sport is going to be getting our attention today because the new DG, Philip Shaibu, resumed office on Monday. And you had, okay, we'll talk more about that on the show tonight because you have to really understand and know what the National Institute for Sport is all about, what it's supposed to do, and what it is not doing. All of them will be on the show tonight. Of course, the FIFA Club World Cup will get our attention. Just the game that just finished, you have Flamengo and Borussia Dortmund are playing a goalless game. We'll talk about that on the show tonight. Remember, 4 African teams are there. You have Mamelodi Sundowns, Al-Ahly of Egypt. You also have Casablanca, of course, of Morocco. Without Casablanca of Morocco, they also are in campaign for that. Yes. We will be also be talking about what will happen in the Nigeria Premier Football League next season. The VAR, that's what they are talking about. The introduction of the VAR to the league. So much on the show tonight. So, Austin, we have to get started. We'll start off with the National Institute for Sport, which was established in 1974. They celebrated 50 years. Last year, right? Last year or earlier this year, celebrated 50 years some time ago. But Austin, before you chip in, Kende Idris is right here in the studio. Kende, it's good to have you join us.
It's good to be here, Cecilia. Also, good evening to Austin, right there in London. And I saw National Institute for Sport, and I'm super excited that something is being discussed about it. You said something very marquee. What it should be doing and what it is not doing, what it was created for. And I think when we start discussing, maybe some persons who do not really have a hold of where we are driving at will get a proper catch of it. I think it's high time we start talking about, it and start looking into it. So the menu is so full. The Super Falcons, I know that there might be a serious war on the show today because I'm feeling like being in that setup. And then the World Club Cup. Sometimes all you need to do for the fans is to create a tournament and tell them chill and watch. The fans were complaining too much games. Right now we are spoiled for a whole lot of football.
With the players not resting.
Yes.
See, from a full season straight into the FIFA Club World Cup. I don't envy them. Yes, the money is there, but then you have to be physically fit to be able to spend that money. All right, Austin, we're starting off with the National Institute for Sport. You're always big on maintenance, facilities and everything. Yeah. When you see some of the edifices we have in Nigeria, you'll be wondering, was this built in Nigeria or built by Nigerians? But you have a lot of it there. For instance, you have the Nationals. When I went to the National Stadium and I saw the tunnel, I was like, wow. But then is in decay. Now, this institute that was built in 1974 right now is facing the same thing. Yes, it's supposed to be a place where coaches are being produced and everything. You're supposed to have so many things in it. But on the inspection tour, when he resumed office on Tuesday, when you see the dormitories, the offices, the sanitation facilities, the state of neglect was really, really very, very obvious. I didn't know that they have a boxing ring right there. They had a handball, they had a basketball court, they had everything. But behind it is so big that I think it took us almost 2 hours to go through the everything. And this is the hostel that is being built for athletes and also students who are schooling there. But the whole place is not so cool. Yes, you have some places that are really very okay, but then you also have some places that are so bad. Austin, this is the gym. Yes, this is the gym. Also went to the gym. Some of the equipment are working so well, and some are just there redundant.
I took a tour in 2019 when I was in Lagos. I can't remember what made me go around the National Institute for Sports, and that was when I gave up because this institute is saddled with the responsibility of producing top-rated coaches, not just coaches, top-rated coaches, sports managers, sports scientists, and also conduct sports research. And if it is in the state where it is, Cecilia, then it tells you the story why we do not have top-rated coaches in Nigeria. And you see, when you go to the back and you see those equipment, those infrastructure in decay, then you would understand, because they're supposed to be what these coaches are supposed to use, to understand the sport that they will get to manage. Look, I concluded in when did I do that boxing gym report? I think I did a boxing gym report in 2015, and I concluded that anything that is around the National Stadium, Surulere, just forget it. Just forget about it. It cannot be in a state where you want it. This is a world-class facility. Yeah. This institute was conceptualized in 1972 and established in 1974. It has given us good coaches, I think the late Taylor was part of it. Choma Ajonwa passed through the NIS. Coach Tunde Disu passed through the NIS. Top boxing coaches, God bless his soul, Bisi and Wakpa, passed through the NIS. This is supposed to be an institution that people can look up to and say, it has given us the best of the best, and let's take care of it. But hey, Cecilia, you know our story with the infrastructure. We build, but we do not maintain.
Yeah, we don't. Kende, yes. No,
it's so sad.
You see some of more of the pictures, the corridors, and the buildings and everything.
It's rather pathetic that, like in local parlance, they will say we have starting, we don't have finishing. We always have a way of, sometimes we call it white elephant project. Can you maintain this big edifice? You cannot. Why not do a small one that you can? But I've come to realize that even small ones being created are not also maintained. It's a maintenance culture, and it's painful. Some months ago, Daniel Ogumodede, who also passed through here, got a plug into being put in the Hall of Fame of the National Institute for Sports. But Austin mentioned a whole lot. One thing Austin didn't mention, I'm sure it was just an honest pass by, is sports psychologists. This institute should also give us that, which is one of the things.
Paramedics also.
Yes, which is one of the things we're suffering in our sport. Our sport men and women go through a lot psychologically, aside the physical input and all of that. How are we maintaining their psyche? What level? If we have to get that, maybe those who are abroad, they work with psychologists and all of that. But most of them who are here, they just go with their toughness. We are Nigerians, we are Africans and all of that. It's so sad. But we have said this today, Cecilia, I'm not a prophet of doom. I'm not prophesying something wrong, but in another 5 years, we'll still discuss this, especially if you take another talk.
I hope we're done, because after what we've heard from the new DG, what he said, I mean, the whole essence of us going for this particular event was the handing over ceremony, which was done much later in the day, simply because at the time we got there, we were looking for who will hand over to him. There was no one on ground at first, so he had to go through, he had to do the inspection tour at first, before the lady now came on, who she's acting, because the former head of the place, he handed over to her, and so she had to send the driver to go home or wherever to bring the documents to the place. He had to wait for like almost an hour after the inspection, for the papers to come before she was able to hand over. It was quite funny, really, when we got there. But then let's listen to the new DG, the vision he's got for these particular facilities, how he intends to turn it around, not just using only government money, but also, ensure that it can, how it can be self-sustained.
Every day we wake up, we see it as a new day and a new challenge. So, and while we were in student union, there's this popular song we always sing, another challenge, another challenge. So for me, coming here is another challenge, and I've seen a lot of things. Like you actually said, there are good ones and there are very, very, very bad ones. The infrastructure, there are still ones that are good. But the good news is that looking with my own eyes, with my experience in supervision of facilities like this, I think when it comes to the integrity of the structure, this is standing. It's just that it will need serious overhaul. Some of them definitely will need to be knocked down and for us to rebuild. But the major ones are still having that. The structure is still solid. It's just to renovate and bring it back to life. I had a very negative impression about this place before I came here. While I was in Edo State in charge of sport, we decided then that as a policy for Bender Ishora and Edo Queen and other sport that the longest serving players and the captain will always send them for training and they will retire back into the club. But when I sent this player here, it took time. It took almost 2 years. There was no space for him. So now, when I was announced to come here, I'm like, oh, this is the first thing we need to change. We need to know, I need to know why that problem happened. And another experience that I had was when the Edo Queen qualified for CAF Champions League, Women League. And I saw my coach on the stand, spectator stand, from there coaching the players. I'm like, what happened? How can you be, were you giving red card? And he said, no, that there's this certificate course you need to do. I said, well, you have an NIH. He said, no, there's not recognized. We must look at the status of this place, the certificate that they offer. We must also check the affiliation of this place. We must also see why CAF will not recognize the certificate from here. So if we have to get accredited to CAF and FIFA, we must pursue it. They also train paramedics. I got to know when I started reading, when I was appointed, that was when I started studying what they do. I discovered that they train paramedics up to, I'm told, diploma level. This institution was established in 1974, I'm told, by what I've checked. And they celebrated 50 years. I thought when they were celebrating 20th anniversary, this institution should have been a university, not the level it is today.
So for more of that interview, tune into Sports Tonight tomorrow, Wednesday, by 9:30 p.m. You have an exclusive and also details of everything he talked about and how he intends to actually revamp and turn this institution around. Over to you, Austin.
You know, Cecilia, I was just like, maybe God wants to use Philip Shaibu to, turn sports around in Nigeria, because I like his zeal. I admire his passion. We all remember what he did with Bendel Insurance and the support he also gave to Edo Queens. So maybe this time around, and he referenced when he was in Union in the university singing Another Challenge. He has a new one now. Let's see what he can do with this. He is visionary, and I believe that, he can, with the right support, because this is a parastatal of the National Sports Commission. So let's see what he can do with Shehu Diko and his team and turn this place around, because, the moment we stop learning as a country, then we start dying. So this place is the spine of our sports development. It is the core. That's where knowledge is derived. So we must take it seriously. And Kehinde Idris, let's see if truly we have what it takes to actually put up a proper institution of learning, get world-class coaches, and start turning our sports around from this level, Coyote.
You said something important. You said, hope he gets the right support. Now, things like this are not done with your own volition or your own money and all of that. That right support, I think that is always where there is a lacuna. That is always where a vacuum is not filled. How will those who are supposed to support him, are they ready? Will they be willing? Will they be at his beck and call? Because this needs to be done like yesterday. So it needs to hit the ground running. from what Shaibat said and what you just, painted with, Edo State football, I think he really did a lot. It was directly involved. In fact, he even played so that he could feel the pulse of a whole lot. And so it looks like a man who would. But the support, that is where I always have issues. We've seen people in time past, they will come talk a whole lot. Not that they don't want to, but where is the support? And hopefully, this time,
That's right.
The man that talked about another challenge, hope there will be support for him to surmount this new challenge.
All right, they have to just surmount it. Yes, you get to watch details of that, more of that interview tomorrow on Sports Night at 9:30 p.m. So join us then. Okay, now let's move away from that, because I know we can spend this whole show talking about the National Institute for Sport. But we're going to be talking about League Austin, the VAR that Benga Elegbeleye is saying that the technology will be used next season in the NPFL.
Cecilia, I don't know about it being used next season.
Listen to him. Let him talk.
He said they are in touch with people who make the VAR. And sincerely, are we really ready? He talked about not having the money to purchase the equipment. He talked about them needing sponsors and all of that. I think the problems in the league are enormous. VAR should be the least thing they should be thinking about now. Fix your infrastructure. Let the stadiums look good. Make sure that the games are properly on television. And find a way to get fans back to the stadium, I think we try to doing all of that, then we can start thinking about, let's listen to Benga. They gave a review of the 2024-2025 season. Right there, he said, we are ready for the video assistant referee. I think they're ready. Let's listen to him.
So the next level now is that I want to advance to the stage of having a VAR here. And now I want to tell you again, the NFF shortlisted 10 of our referees who are computer literates to go to Morocco for training. All right? I think now we as a league, had online meeting with manufacturers of VAR and the producers of the machine. First, before you can use it, you must be able to use communication gadgets. All right? So you don't need to go all out watching TV, looking at the TV, at the screen. You can communicate with those at the room, the machine room, then they will discuss it. Know whether it's right or wrong. Secondly, then you must be computer literate. Now, the last recruitment of referees, NFF insisted on computer literacy before you can allow anybody to be part of it. Now, the stage we are now is looking for sponsors to be able to acquire the VAR machine. We are ready to go the way of VAR, but unfortunately, the machines are quite expensive. Then, if you have it, not just having it, you have to train those that will use it in the rudiments of handling the VR machine. It's not just a machine like you just have to pick. Even when you buy your own telephone, smartphone, you need to learn how to use it first. Talk less of a video assistant referee. So, and in doing that, those to be trained, those that will train them are not available in Nigeria. They need to go out. And again, even if you train them, the money to acquire the equipment is what we're actually waiting for. So I, again, want to employ our esteemed friends from the media that our referees have improved tremendously. That is why you can see very first match day of this last season, we had 4 away wins. It's unprecedented. So referees are now alive to their responsibility that, okay, look, to whom much is given, much is spent. And beside again, they know that your reputation is at stake. The present crop of officials that we have now, the officiating officials that we have now, are quite conscious of their own reputation. That's why, occasionally, of course, there may be some flashes of what we see as very bad officiating, which we ourselves frown out and call those people to question. But the situation has completely reduced to what I can describe as the barest minimum. So let's project our referee in a positive light for the world to see.
Kende, you listened to Benga Elegbeleye talking about VAR in NPFL next season. And you were saying some very, interesting things, when we were on that break. Yeah.
I was asking myself, in extension, asking you, and asking whoever can answer me, why is Benga Elegbeleye discussing VAR? Really, let's be realistic.
You want to be in tune.
In tune with what?
With the word.
Let me give you an example. Up until the 2020 something, MLS said our template That is, we're trying to look at a template. Is the championship in England, MLS. That's
Major League Soccer
Major
in
League
the
Soccer.
US.
Do you know how long the MLS has been? They are not looking at the EPL standard. They are looking at the championship. If we can beat this one, if we can achieve this one, then we can now start looking at the EPL.
So they're trying
because
to
the EPL is a far-fetched goal. What are our templates? Where is the security in our stadium or in our stadia? Where are the stadias? Stadia. Where are the people who are watching these games? Where are the TV on our games? All of this on ground. We're discussing VAR. Do you know the people that started using VAR? Those are people who had done football to the highest level and they needed things to cushion it to get better. That is why today European football is termed to be the best, because they've taken it beyond just football. They've added science, they've added, a whole lot into it. You watch technology, watch South American football, they have a high standard. But they know that they still fall short of some things that Europe is providing to football. And they've given it to Europe. You guys have added a whole lot that makes your football being there. And you can see the European teams. They are way better than teams around the world. These are things that you need to do before you start talking about big things. Discussing the VAR is like one of those white elephant projects. Just want to talk. No disrespect to Benga. They've done a whole lot, but I think this is out of place.
They are just putting plans in place to
where?
Ensure that...
And then after every sentence, you will remind us that, but there is no money because it's so expensive. So we are looking at sponsor. Sponsor, how much is league winners earning in Nigeria? How are you cushioning teams to execute games, to attend to welfareism of their teams? How are you mandating those who own teams, whether it's the government or private ownership? How much is the salary scale? A whole lot of questions that needs to be answered, a whole lot that need to be curbed. Before you're now talking about advanced level, VAR is advanced level. We are still in toddler level. Our football has nothing for you to sell to an average Nigerian, not to talk of those out there.
Okay, can I stop you here?
No, I understand there is timing.
No, yes.
But it's so painful that we'll leave things that are primary and go to tertiary. You can't say a student who had not done primary and secondary and he says, I'm trying to write JAMB to get into one of our universities.
You know what I was going to talk about when you said we're at the stadium. I now remember that we actually have one stadium. You can say you can have maybe close to 6 cameras positioning to actually shoot a game, which is the big stadium, which is the only stadium that you have in Nigeria. The others we had for you to have more cameras because. So where do you bring in VAR? Okay, we leave it there, and of course talk about the Super Falcons of Nigeria. First, we're going to be talking about Mission X before we talk about ladies in sport, honoring them. Now, we're having the 13th edition of the Women's Africa Cup of Nations. It's taking place in Morocco. It's starting on the 5th of July. It's 18 days to the tournament. And today, Nigeria Football Federation came up with a press release saying that they are launching Mission X campaign for the Super Falcons. So we wanted to see fanfare, something interesting. When you're launching something, you're saying you're launching something, you expect something.
Yeah.
I mean, we know when we talk about branding, activation, we expected activation, we expected branding. But it was just a press release. And then, okay, at the end of that press release, you saw a link, and you click on it. It's just what you see is the promo, literally, of Mission X. I'm like, what is this all about? Are they planning something bigger? But we really don't know if they are planning something bigger. But it's just 18 days. At what time? 18. We are talking about activation. I mean, when Let's Do It Again campaign came, it was for a long time. So it was on and on. And when you ask some people that the Super Falcons will be playing, the Women's Africa Cup of Nations in July, they're like, really? People don't even know about it.
They don't know.
So I'm like, and the press release, when the quote that is actually there were from the Secretary General of the Nigerian Football Federation, Dr. Mohammed Sanusi, and it was from the United States of America. So I'm like, we have players in the US. Can't you just use them to do like an activation or something, to start something?
Cecilia, you can remember adopt an athlete.
Yes.
Campaign. Adopt an idea. Adopt a facility.
Yeah.
You know, it was all. Can you remember the dinner?
Yes.
Almost all of the top guys in Nigeria were there. Everybody started, okay, I'll pick this athlete. This is how you activate such, because that is also a news on its own. It has visual that you can sell. Now, do you know how many people, even in sports reporting, that did not know that this happened? That activate X. Some people who are in our spotlight do not even know. Talk more of the regular guys on the street. The people who are waiting for you and I to come and tell them, because they go about their normal life. They are not about sport. Sport is just an aspect of their life. We live sport every now and then. Every minute, you must be dealing with something sports. And then this is almost something you can pass by.
Yeah.
If not that you're so keen on gathering, all of this news. It's so pathetic. See, if you have disrespect for something, let us know. If you don't have regard, or if you don't know how to respect something, come out and say it. Let people teach you. This, for me, this is if you were to be Super Eagles, you will see something different.
You would have started 3 months ago.
Yes, coach traveling to go and visit all of the players. After everything, Shebi, we still came back to say, in the 2 games, what did you people do? The Super Falcons, every now and then, we find reason to ask, why are they being treated this way? You say you're activating X 17, 18 days to go to the championship, and you think you're doing something big.
Okay.
And you want to ask questions of the ladies if X does not come home.
Austin, the NFF has set in motion a media campaign nicknamed Mission X to mobilize and galvanize Nigerian ball fans at home and in diaspora to support the Super Falcons in quest to win a 10th title at the Women's Africa Cup of Nations.
It was that easy, and that's because talk is cheap, When you launch this sort of campaign, you want to put words to action. You guys have said it all. We want to see things that will pump up the atmosphere, not just the press statement. But this has always been the case of football in Nigeria when you talk about the women, and that's because they know the women can just go out there and win. Imagine out of 12 editions, the Super Falcons have 9 titles, and this is just how you want to launch your Mission X. But hey, Cecilia, they know that the ladies will go out there and give their best. And for those of us who truly support women's football, we will support them. We will wish them well. But again, please, it is what you sow, you reap. You won't go to the WAFCON now and think that you just go there and say, the Super Falcons of Nigeria were here. Give us the 10th trophy. It's not happening that way. Now there's Morocco, there's South Africa. There is even Zambia that we couldn't beat in the last WAFCON, Countries in Africa are beginning to big up their football, using it to empower the girl child. And that's as simple as it is. They've looked at Nigeria and they've seen the things that we're not doing and, consolidating on it. So, Cecilia, do we have the talents that will go to, Morocco and give us reasons to talk? Yes, we do. But am I going to come here and now blame the Super Falcons if Mission X campaign isn't successful? No, because you've not put... It's just church workings.
Yeah.
That's what we want to see. Talk about this thing over and over again. Let us see the quality in the league. We were shouting that, look, with just days to the tournament, you didn't give these girls a sort of grade A friendlies that they should play. See, if they can actually do stuff. The competition is about 18 days from now. Where is the list? Who is going to execute the mission? So, Cecilia, they know that we will support the team, and truly, that's what will happen. We'll support the team. The girls will go out there, give their best. But the sad reality now is if Mission X is successful, some people will not come out now. They will come out and start blowing their trumpet that it is what they put in place. Meanwhile, they will forget that all they did was send a press statement and a link for you to click to see the promo.
We are hoping that just maybe 2 days from now, we need to, have like a timeline of the things they want to do before the Women's Africa Cup of Nations. I just hope and pray this press release is not just the only thing. we will see.
Cecilia, today is June 17. Today is June 17. This South Africa, they've moved on. They are waiting to play at the WAFCON.
Yes,
Morocco,
yeah.
they've moved on. Teams that are serious, they're just waiting for the competition to come. Now, you know what? Let's listen to the former first vice president of the Nigerian Football Federation, Seyi Akiwumi. He's big on women's football support also, and he's been speaking about the Super Falcons. Listen.
Yes, I know that we've not gotten the right preparation for this AFCON because a lot of African teams have been preparing for throughout the FIFA windows. Yes. They have. So I would say maybe 2 or 3, the Super Falcons were not in camp. And our country, they believe in Super Falcons because they know that whenever it comes to a competition, they believe Super Falcons, they are there. They are ready to give all. Yeah, because they know when we are there, we know I would say it's like a birthright. But for me, for now, it's not a birthright because other Africans are catching up on Super Falcons. So the preparation that we've not gotten in this AFCON is really, really, I don't know what to say, but like what they do say, they believe in Super Falcon that we could do magic. So, sister, don't worry, na Naija we dey. You know as they be now. So, hopefully, the little one they will give us, we will give out our best in Morocco.
All I have to say is it's a competition, and everyone is going there to fight for the trophy.
Exactly.
And we as the Super Falcons of Nigeria, we are going there as a team, as a family, and we are going there to do our best to make sure we bring the trophy home.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I know Austin called for Seyi Akiwumi. We'll listen to him later, but let's just take it out of the way. Austin, you know when you talked about them going out there to do so well, yeah. It's like you've already listened to Chukwueze. This was LIS, Lady in Sports on Friday, where the ladies, they were invited, to actually share their ideas. They were honored. You have fans having an opportunity to actually ask them questions. These are some of the things we thought Nigerian Football Federation could be doing to sell the guests, let people see them. But it was Lady in Sports that did this particular one, bringing some of the girls to Lagos on their own bill. I mean, not anybody's bill, on their own bill, bringing some of them, to just share their ideas, let them know, let people start following them that, yes, something is going on. And you listen to what she said about, a miracle. There's always miracle that comes. And just like what you mentioned, so these guys will always want to go all out, to do the best. Chukwueze and Christy Uchebe were talking there at Lady in Sports conference, the 10th edition on Friday. That was where they were actually, saying all this, Austin.
Yeah, I said it clearly, and Chukwueze, re-echoed it, same with Christy Uchebe. And look, that's all they owe themselves, go out there and give the country a good representation. And that's the expectation we also have, unfortunately, fans of the Super Falcons. We big them up, we support them, we want them to go all out. But you see, Cecilia, this sort of event that Ladies in Sports did, the Nigerian Football Federation can just Super Falcons meet and greet. Come and know the players, that will represent the country. And right there, pump your Mission X. It doesn't take anything, but no, we won't do it, because Cecilia, I just don't know. Maybe someday we'll get to realize that you have to put in the work, to get something. Maybe because the Super Falcons have been doing it so easy back in the day. But let's remember, before we start launching Mission X, we finished 4th at the last WAFCON.
Yes.
4th. That's the whole point. We never get to learn, We just, some people say, that one has happened, Joe. We were not lucky. No, it's not about luck. Morocco got to the final, and it was a deliberate work, a 5-year plan. They got to the final, they got to the World Cup, gave a good impression of themselves. Zambia, they did proper investment. I don't want to talk about South Africa because that one, everyone all day, every day, we understand. So until we start doing those things, Cecilia, you and I will just be fans. We're supporting, I'm pushing a team to Destination X without compass. We're going to drop them in Destination Q. It's sad.
Just wrap this up quickly before we listen to Shea Kiumi.
Yeah, I while Austin was just talking, some words came to my head. Deliberate, intentional, conscious. These words are things that are not attached to our sports. We are never deliberate with anything, but most especially with the ladies. I'm hoping, or probably I will say I'm praying, that maybe one day, someday, these ladies will learn to not be excellent. Maybe we'll start seeing them as humans. I think because they are super excellent with the way they execute their activities, we always see them as, they would always do it. Maybe one day if they don't, and they continue to not be able to consistently, we'll start putting in the work for them. But for me, these ladies are more than superb anytime they go out, and I wish them all the very best.
All the best. Let's listen to Shea Kiumi if that video is actually ready. He was at LIS on Thursday, talking about the Super Falcons because he always believed in them.
The Falcons themselves, irrespective of who's in power, as far as football is concerned, are a phenomenon themselves. So, yes, the administration makes a great difference, but they are conquerors anyway. And I think that they will continue to be conquerors. However, I think that we need, sport generally, as we're doing here, has gone beyond just being on the pitch. I think there needs to be a lot of verve around it, a lot of visibility around it for the team and then for the individuals in the team. We need to catch up with the world in that regard. Even if we win and we are winning, we need to catch up with the world regarding the media part of it, the sponsorship part of it, the eyeballs following it, and all of that. So I think in that regard, I don't think we have done well enough, and we really need to step up in that regard.
Do you think the Falcons can win the 10th title?
If it's interviewed me for years, I've never ever believed that anybody can beat Nigeria. So I'm not about to change. I always think that, and I always believe that Nigeria has the wherewithal to beat anybody in football, and even more so in women's football. So we will win.
We're wishing them all the best. We will win. Now, let's leave the Super Falcons. Of course, we are doing a countdown. It's 18 days. We'll come back here on Thursday and continue with our countdown and build up to the team. All right, to the tournament. Okay, let's now quickly talk about the FIFA Club World Cup. We had time. The games that just went down earlier today. Usually at 4 a.m., 2 a.m. while we are sleeping, games are ongoing. Started with the earlier one, Flamengo and Esperance of Tunisia. This game ended 2-0 in favor of the team of Flamengo, the team from South America. And of course, in Group F, you have Fluminense and Dortmund. This was the shocker of it, ended goalless. I'm sure even Austin wasn't expecting this kind of result because since it started, we've been having lots of goals. Imagine Bayern Munich scoring 10. Yeah, but they played against players who are part-time footballers, so we understand what that is. A quick one on this, Austin, before we leave the show.
Cecilia, I wasn't really, as surprised as you are. Fluminense is a quality team, in Brazil, and when they have an opportunity to play European teams, they want to show that look, they actually have the talent. They probably don't have the sort of structure, and visibility that European football has, so I'm sure Fluminense used that opportunity to, pass a strong message against Dortmund. But so far, we've been seeing goals and expectant results. The teams that we really expect to go on to win didn't just win, but they actually scored goals. But let's see as the competition, advances, we'll get to get more to talk about and also see if that objective of creating more revenue streams for club football will actually be achieved with this FIFA Club World Cup. I think FIFA, they're actually meeting it, but let's wait till the competition matures. That's the show. in London. I'm Austin Okonakman. In everything you do, remember to keep talking sports. Bye for now.
Kenny Idris, it was nice doing this with you. Just to wrap up on the FIFA Club World Cup.
Yeah, I'm so happy it's now very expanded. Whoever wins the FIFA Club World Cup now can comfortably sit in their backyard and say, we are truly the best team in the world. Not like the 7-team format where the champions of Europe will join in the semi-final, play 2 games, and they will lift the trophy. Now go through all of the rigorous group stages, round 16, quarterfinal, semi-final, get to the final, win it, and then you can comfortably say, yes, I went through all of it, played everybody in different continents, and I'm the champion of the world. It's good to be here.
And of course, you have to travel through the states of United States, traveling 6 hours to go to your match. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Cecilia Mogbe. Have a good night, guys.